Hello, everyone. Last night was crazy. Last night was crazy. I was not going to even chime in on this, but the conversation is has spilled over to this morning. That was trending on Twitter. That was on the news. And hold on a sec. Sorry. I I just cannot believe that this happened. All right, so I'm just gonna play this clip, and then if you have not seen the unedited version, because I think when everyone was watching it live on the Oscars, they muted the exchange between Chris and Will, and also they cut the camera and all that. So here is an unedited version of the whole incident if you did not see. So let's just play this. I'm gonna try to fast forward. Let's see. Golly. I want to break down something really quick because after seeing this multiple times, I noticed after Chris makes the joke, as you see here, Will is laughing at this point at the joke. I think one, Will's laughing because it didn't sink in what maybe Chris was saying. But two, I think when he saw Jada's response, that's definitely when Will got upset. And maybe then it all starts to make sense. And he was conceptualizing in his brain, like, oh, alopecia and all this stuff. And then he went to avenge his wife in his mind and slap Chris and feel justified for it. I want to say I love Will Smith and I really like Chris Rock, but when I realized this was not a joke and it wasn't a bit, it wasn't scripted, and Will Smith, in fact, went on stage and assaulted Chris, because that's what that was. And the fact that he was able to stay in the audience and no repercussions happened, I honestly was shocked. I was looking around and making sure, I'm like, did they escort Will out? Did they make him leave? And the fact that they didn't, and then he went on and gave a speech after he won his Oscar for King Richard. That's something about that just was not right to me. Even though I really love Will Smith and I like him, and I don't understand the stress he's been under because I have not experienced his life, but we all have seen what Will Smith has faced with his marriage, with Jada, with being called, beta male, with how he's, I guess, acted in reaction of her entanglement with allegedly with the musician August. And sorry, I'm looking at some of your comments. So some people are saying that they understand. Let me actually put these up and get you guys in this conversation. So someone's saying they understand maybe they wouldn't have done, but they understand Will. And yes, this was definitely a health problem with Jada, alopecia. And that's the thing. I don't think everyone hates Chris. You know, I hate that Chris is now being looked at the butt of the joke of all this. Chris is a comedian. Chris is someone that's always told the line of on the line of funny and maybe offense. But I think holistically, Chris's career has shown how he does comedy. And perhaps this was, one could say tasteless. Let's just say that. Let's say he knew about the alopecia and this was tasteless. He will still shouldn't have hit another person. That's the thing. But to me, I think this is bigger than just Chris and what he said. What I was saying before, which I forgot actually what I was saying before. Let me get back to why I even did this video. I think that Will Smith has gone through the ringer with all the things said about him and said about his marriage, saying that he's a bad husband, or saying that he's weak, or saying like all we know, all the memes has come out about him and with Jada, and saying like, how Jada went out with Tupac and that was like her first love and he'll never measure up to Tupac, and taking it all in. And I think that Will Smith coming to the Oscars and coming to a place where he's nominated and there's a good chance he'll win his first Oscar after all these years, and the emotions of King Richard, and then probably all the stuff knowing what's going on in the press about him, just all the emotions mixed with gratefulness and maybe mixed with being on the edge, who knows. And then in front of his peers, in front of this group of people, his wife being made fun of on something that it was out of her control with alopecia. And I'm sure that she's cried to Will. I'm sure she's been really vulnerable and emotional with Will. And him thinking Chris was like the straw that broke the camel's back. I think Chris represented all of the media, the world, all of the critiques, the all of the nastiness that Will has faced with Jada. It's almost as if Will took Chris as, you're representing all that and I'm smacking it off. Like, keep your name out my mom my mom. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. It was like Will was saying that to the world. Like, Will's had it. And sadly, he lost it in one of the most, one would say, prestigious public forums, even though I wasn't watching the Oscars until this happened. And yeah, anyway. But I hate that the moment that he won is like overshadowed by this. Like, the whole night was overshadowed. I mean, Questlove from The Roots won a doggone Oscar right after this moment. And it's almost like people were so like coming down off of the shock of Will Smith and Chris that for about 15-20 minutes after that, I think I didn't even realize who was winning. And then I'm like, oh, Quest won. And that was overshadowed. But I want to know more about what you guys are saying. Let's see. Someone said, I don't like that this is turning into, like, this has nothing to do with race. I don't understand why them being black is brought into this. Like, let's just not do that. What else? Yeah, no one was watching until this happened. That's a fact. Let's see. Oh, by the way, Chris is not pressing charges. It was, I think, I don't know if it was CBS. I believe I saw Gail King talking about this, and that Chris was asked if he wanted to press charges, and he's not pressing any charges against Will. So this was considered assault, and he is not doing that. Jada has disease. Will Smith is fed up. Yeah, he is fed up, but it's just that doesn't excuse someone hitting somebody though. Yeah, disappointing. It wasn't. It's never the place to hit someone. And then I believe his son Jaden, who I think is an amazing rapper, um, really underrated unless you like really listen to his music. I think he's pretty good at his lyrical skills. He goes on Twitter and says, "This is what, and that's how we do it," or "This is what we do." Talking about his family, this is what we do. This is how we protect ourselves. Low key kind of laughed at that, but then I'm like, dang, no, like I honestly think objectively, just looking at the situation, I can't let my love for Will deter from what he did, even though I really love Jada too. I love Red Table Talk. I know Jada's talked about her alopecia. I know Jada, came on Red Table Talk and like revealed her shaved head, and she's gorgeous, by the way. Like she's absolutely gorgeous no matter what she does. But even though I love them as a couple, and I hate that they face all this backlash, and I even wrote like a piece on Will Smith about what he's done for pop culture and how he's turned his the hardships in his life into a positive narrative that has taken him to the stardom. Like I love Will, but I love Chris too. And I don't like that people are now making fun of Chris. Like, haha, you got hit. No one likes Chris. And that's not right. Chris was given a job to do. They know he's a comedian. He went up, did his bit. And the fact that the Oscars did not protect Chris at all in the way of one, no security, which I guess in that moment there wouldn't be security because no one thought Will would hit him. And even though we saw the hit, we still thought it was a joke. And even Chris didn't look at all intimidated when Will was coming up. To me, Chris looked like, oh, we're about to, he might play fight me or whatever. Like I I don't know. I feel bad that Chris didn't, like, it was like no one was on his, not no one was on his side. I feel like the Oscars could have done more for Chris. I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, but I feel like at least Will Smith should have been removed from his seat from the front and moved somewhere else, that he wouldn't be seen on camera. But that kind of sounds like a cancellation, but it's not. It's an actual like repercussion for your actions. And something needed to happen for Chris. The fact that he got hit, it's just something needed to happen. Jonathan Alexander says, we are all trained to always take it. When is it too much? Yeah. Um, that's a good question, or that's a good, point to make. I think that in life we all have to take it. And you can do this privately with Chris, even though he said that joke publicly. Like the joke was almost over. And let me play this actually. Okay, so he's laughing. He's gonna see Jada. He gets upset, and then he goes up. Um, yeah. So someone said, Gordon, hold on. Guys, I'm doing this off the cuff. So, Gordon, is Will okay though? That situation. I don't think Will is. No, I don't think Will is like mentally ill. No, I don't think that. I think Will's gone through a lot and he's taken on a lot. And this was a straw that broke the camel's back. And I don't think Will's okay. And I say this in quotes. I think Will's been through a lot with what he's gone through the past couple of years with being the butt of everyone's joke. I don't think do I think that joke was right? For me, no, because I know what Jada's talked about with her alopecia and the big move of shaving her hair and going through that whole thing. That's a big deal for a woman to shave off her hair because of an element that she's dealing with. Um, and one could say perhaps Chris did not know that. I find it hard to believe if Chris didn't know that, but let's just say he didn't. I still don't think I don't like that joke wasn't funny to me. I was like, dang. But I don't think that it should be okay. Like, okay, if someone offends you and there's just a line. And like the joke was almost like the moment was almost over. And honestly, there was a way for Will to handle it. Maybe he could have yelled at him from his seat and been like, hey, yo, that joke isn't funny. Like, call him out from your seat, use your words, but to hit him. I feel more I'm sad for Will because he won this Oscar and this is his first Oscar for King Richard. And it's overshadowed by this. And it sucks that it's overshadowed by this. But it is. But I was even kind of emotional. I wasn't crying or anything, but I was kind of emotional when Will was giving his speech for King Richard because I was like, low key, I think he thinks he messed up, but he's so hurt. I think he's really hurt by everything, not just Chris, but everything. And he does feel very protective of Jada and his family. And we know Will's never done anything like this publicly, at least. Like, he's never done anything like this. I don't even think Will has said anything really harsh against another person. I mean, I'm trying to think, and if I'm wrong, like put in the comments if he ever has, but I can't even think of a time Will has done that. Will's seemingly been very kind-hearted person, direct, but never low blow. And I think what really shocked people was because it was Will that did this, because this is not usually his demeanor, his personality, his character to do something like this. He always preaches about love and always, even in one of his songs, Just the Two of Us in the 90s. Yeah, love the 90s. There's a lyric that he says, hate in your heart will consume you too. And it's a longer lyric like that. But that's the energy of Will. He's just like, don't let them get the best of you. In this moment, he let someone get the best of him. And I'm confused because I thought they were friends too. And I thought Chris and Will were friends. So this is why this is still really odd. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Ultimately, it doesn't matter because no one watched the Oscars or it's King Richard. It does matter actually. You didn't watch it maybe, and you didn't watch King Richard, but this does matter. So I don't understand that comment. I mean, if it doesn't matter to you, that's fine. But you're tuned in right now to this live, so you're curious. Anyway, I'm about to jump off here. What else do you guys think that like it would have been over the top if Will had to leave? Is that over the top? Or is that should have happened standard? What else? Oh Lord. Will you have to move with his auntie Uncle Belair? Stop playing around. That's a funny joke. A lot of people are making these type of jokes, saying it got real Philly up in there. Um, but yeah, we shouldn't treat elites differently. Yeah. Uh, let's just say, I honestly think that if Will Smith was a D-list celebrity, that D-list celebrity would have definitely been escorted out. It's because Will Smith is Will Smith. He's A-list. And also, I do think it's an element of this is not New Orleans behavior, and perhaps this, and we all know what he's been through. I think they probably let it slide. And also, they knew he was going to win. So they don't want to kick out the Oscar winner, right? But if, you know, if he was a D-list, I think they would have, or C-list, they would have, um, yeah. Wow. So okay, someone said a non-emotional take. I understand, like, when people say more logic and emotions, like, obviously you can do both. Um, come on, guys, we're human. But I did write on Twitter. I said, like, Chris. What did I say? I said Chris Rock. Oh yeah, I said Chris Rock turned a punchline, took a punch. Wow. Let me see what I actually said because I don't remember. I thought the way Chris handled it was, I'm shocked that he handled it that well because, but I said Chris made a punchline out of a punch in real time. Pro. That's what I said on Twitter. I stand by that. I think what he just did before this clip, or before I stopped it, saying like, "Oh, this is the best moment in history," Oscar history, whatever. Yeah, it is. And the fact that he could still be, use his craft in that moment of shock, and it seemed like he wanted to say something else, but he just stopped himself. I think Chris handled himself the best way he could have. And I just think that this is an unfortunate moment for everyone. Not everyone, for them. It just sucked. But also, side note, I guess during the break right after this happened, Denzel and Tyler Perry was talking to Will Smith, but more so Denzel was talking to Will and said, the higher you go, and when greater things are happening to you, that's when the devil tries to fight you. And Denzel wasn't talking about Chris being the devil. No. Um, it was more of the reaction that Will gave, I think. I think Denzel was saying, you can't react that way. You have to think of better ways to react, perhaps, or don't be tricked by the wiles of the enemy. Like, don't be, um, right when you're about to win an Oscar and then this happens to you. And now that Oscar win is overshadowed by this unfortunate thing. Like, man, I just wish Will didn't do that. So he could have really had his shining moment with this Oscar win. That's me. And yeah, I keep saying I'm going to leave, but I'm not. Because clearly I keep looking at your guys' comments. Let me see. Oh, crap. Someone had a good comment, I think. It went by so fast. Hold on. Someone had a comment. I'm trying to go back to you. It went by. It's gone. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. David, you said something. Let me see. It's funny. I am an adult man myself, and I can't honestly say seeing Will Smith publicly assault someone without any consequence makes me consider using threats and minor violence to get my way. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I no, it's not. You don't get your way by assaulting people. I mean, in the moment, you might feel relieved, but oh, someone said it's funny how you can be canceled for saying something, but slapping someone, that's okay. I mean, it's not necessarily okay, but the fact that no repercussion happened, Sure. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it was okay because nothing happened. Bad joke, bad reaction. We all want to fight when someone attacks someone we love, but this is why we follow Jesus. It's tough to walk the noble path we fall short. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good take. It was a bad, one could say bad joke, bad reaction. I think it was an unfortunate joke, an unfortunate reaction. The joke, I think if they all would have laughed, it would have been more funnier, but I just felt like the joke was like one of those jokes where I just internally I'm not laughing. Like I said this with Jade, or not Jada. I said this with Dave Chappelle. How I don't laugh at everything Dave Chappelle says. Like I think Dave Chappelle, and that's another controversial subject, but we're not going there this morning. But I think Dave Chappelle is funny, but there's certain jokes he does make that I don't laugh at, but I don't go on a campaign to say, well, he's not funny. Like there's just certain jokes that aren't for me, and they just and I'm just like, okay. Um, there's jokes that Dave Chappelle said about Christians, and I'm Christian, and I don't think it's funny, but other things he says is funny. So I just um, and I just think like this joke was subjective. One could say it crossed the line, and one could say it didn't. One can say it's all is fair in comedy. One could say that. All right, I'm gonna get off here because I have to get back to writing, and I can announce that later. But let's see. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here and give my thoughts because I had thoughts, and I was just seriously just gonna be like, whatever. But I just think this is bigger than Chris. I think Will Smith is just fed up with what's gone down, and it was just straw that broke the camel's back, and he unfortunately lashed out on Chris. He was upset with Chris, yes, but I think if none of the things happened to Will prior, I doubt Will would have reacted that way. In that way, not saying you want to be mad, but because of the accumulation of everything, I think that's why. But anyway, so have a good day, and I am going to get off here, but I just want to give my thoughts. And this live will be posted on YouTube. So if you didn't see it all, you can rewatch it. But yeah, I'll do more of these. And what an Oscars of 2022. Good night, people, or good morning.